What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James, shoot!
.com. Today, it's kind of a special preview.
Special.
Nerve.
Exclusively from us.
Emma Roberts.
Well, not really exclusively,
Dave Franco.
but kind of.
Nerve.
Nerve. Okay, so I got to see a clip of this movie at CinemaCon, and I was like, okay, I could buy it. Like an interesting little concept, right? There's a game, there's players, there's watchers. You know, it's kind of like life. Some people just sit by and watch. Some people get involved. You know, but it's gets a little bit crazier than that. I don't know. Dave Franco, I think is good. Unfortunately, has not done anything like too amazing for me to really like him. Same thing with Emma Roberts. I think Emma Roberts has had some really good opportunities to be good, but she's not like someone that I absolutely love. But I think the concept of this movie is what's going to be drawing people in. What are your thoughts?
Well, this movie to me seems like a movie for the millennials. Which means, it seems like a movie I like. I like boy bands, I like girl bands, I like pop music, like Simon Cowell. I like that stuff, so.
She wants to be a millennial.
You know,
that's
I'm getting old, so. Yeah, I'm excited about it. You know, I'm not expecting this to be great or anything crazy, but I'm excited to watch it.
I gotta admit, like just going in, I'm just kind of like, huh? I'm hoping I'm hoping it surprises me.
Me too.
All right.
How long's the movie?
An hour and 40 minutes.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's see if this movie has the nerve to give us a good movie.
Ooh.
Alright, so we just got out of Nerve. The first 2 acts, loved it. I think if it wasn't for Pokemon Go, I would have watched this movie with more hesitation, thinking, no. But one of my boys, Ken, could go to a park at any time of the day, and he sees and shows me photos 200, 300, 400, 500 people playing Pokemon Go. So in any other circumstance, if it wasn't for Pokemon Go, I probably would have said this movie is not realistic. But Pokemon Go is big and it is huge, and I enjoyed the first 2 acts. Loved it. I was like, yeah. And then that third act, it like just completely fell apart, went to another direction I didn't care for. Overall, 1 through 10, I would give this movie a 7. It was cool. I enjoyed. It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, 6.5, 6. 5, no, probably 6.5, 7, 6.5, 7, 6, 7, something around there. But it would have been really good, actually, probably if that third act. But that's what happens, man. It's not just about creating a film that's 2/3 good. You gotta do it the whole way through. And this movie for me just fell apart at the end.
You know, it's really rough because if you make a bad beginning, you lose audiences. No one wants to keep going. You make a good beginning but a bad middle, then you lose people in the middle, and then they don't care about the end. You make a bad end, then you just make everything for nothing. So it's rough. You can't win or loss. I also would say that I think that I will agree with you in the sense that the first half of the movie is far better than the second half. But I wouldn't break it into 2 acts and 1. I would actually kind of just split it right down the middle and say like there's a good chunk of that first half of the movie, and I'm not saying I didn't love it. Like I'm definitely not on your level. I had a lot of problems with this movie, but I will say that there was some interesting moments in the movie where I was actually invested. I was like, okay, this is, you know, I'm with it. But
motorcycle chasing.
The motorcycle scene I think was good. You know, I was kind of like, oh no, but at the same time I'm just wondering. You know, I think my problem for this movie is for a lot of it, I question if, even though I'm with you in this, because me and you've had this conversation, like, will people really do this? Would people really?
Yes.
I think there's a good chunk, but at the same time, I feel like the characters in this movie are more level-headed, right? Like, I think it'd be pretty crazy to do things like driving a motorcycle blindfolded. Like, you have to be kind of crazy to do that. A rational person would say no, right? But
he hasn't been on World Hip Hop.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But here's the difference. I'm not saying people wouldn't do it, but the characters that were introduced, and we're supposed to understand that these are characters. We introduced them, we learn about them, and they seem rational, normal thinking people. For them to jump to those extremes that quickly and that easily makes it hard to believe. If it was just like, oh, some random guy, I'm all about it. That's cool, because some people would do that. But for us to introduce these characters and say this is the character, this is what they're like, this is who they are, and then to do it makes it harder to believe. Now that being said, I think there were some really interesting moments. However, the movie does go completely kaput as we try to like resolve this kind of situation. Yeah, absolutely. And I really could not help watch this movie, and yeah, there was a horse involved too. I couldn't watch this movie and not think that the person who made this, granted, I don't know their age off the top of my head, but I feel like the persons who wrote this movie really just kind of dislike our generation.
I don't agree with any of that.
Maybe I'm the only one that saw that, but if movies just like, they are just like saying that our generation who is stuck on their phones, we're all about we're so desensitized because of electronics and being on our face in social media that we forget that there's other people there, that we don't respect human life. I think like to me that's what this movie said, is that we are so involved in this electronic world that we actually remove ourselves from the real world in more of a virtual world, and that's like the mentality that we have, and that we're so desensitized to violence and to hate and to all these things because of the way we interact online, that then we're just blind and dumb. And it's not just a couple of us, there's a lot of us that are blind and dumb. So, I mean, that's honestly what I got out of the movie. And I completely disagree with that, obviously. But I understand that kind of message. And like James Shu pointed out earlier, that Pokemon Go is this huge phenomenon, and people are getting hurt, people are getting robbed, and there's a lot of...
And they're staying out till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning at parks.
That's true, but going to
the hundreds.
But going to a park on your phone to catch a Pokemon is much different than risking your life for an amount of money. And here's a
this game is 17 million. First month projected 72 million. If it can do that, then and people aren't even getting financial rewards, this game, Nerve, is giving people money.
Yeah, but again, that's going to a park opposed to climbing on top of a building that you're absolutely terrified of. Or driving blindfolded, on a motorcycle. I'm not doubting people would do it, but our characters I don't think would. James Franco, yes. Emma Roberts, no, I didn't buy that.
Oh, Emma Roberts, I thought that was hot in this movie.
Yeah.
Just wanted, that has nothing really to do.
And another thing, now you even lose track what I was going to say. Oh, a major plot hole for this movie. Major thing that killed it, and I'm not sure, maybe me and you just both misread
Took it the wrong way, but...
Yeah, I don't think so.
How did we both do
So
that?
the whole situation of this game that we're talking about is called Nerve. You have to be a player or a watcher. If you're a player, you complete dares, and you get paid, right? That makes sense. I dare you to do this, you get paid $500. Okay, that makes sense. However, this is like a big round game. The more you get to the final round, if you have the most viewers, like that. Jesus. But at one point in the movie, after they're doing all these things already, and she's accumulated about $5,000 or something,
like
they're like, oh, if you stop now, you lose everything you've made.
It's like, what's the point of playing then?
So then essentially only one person's going to take away the money at the end of the day, is what they're saying. So pretty much you could risk your life and do all these things and then not even get the money. Yeah, so to me, that completely obliterates the entire movie, if that's in fact the case, which James Franco does say, you lose everything that you've earned. So to me, if that's the situation, then this movie's even dumber than I expected, because that really gives anyone no reason. That's just,
which is kind of funny, because if they would have just take out that line, it's even better.
Yeah, it's true. And that really is, because that's like, okay, you can, if you risk your life, we'll let you play blackjack and see if you could win some amount of money, because that's what it's technically doing. And that, to me, that's just stupid. And even though me and Shu are arguing about necessarily people doing these types of things, that obviously makes it even more ridiculous. Yeah, but that third act really kind of ruins everything. I mean, just the way everything's resolved, very simple, very easy, and everything's just, it becomes very cheesy. Like, I think even though in the movie it's kind of like, all right, like it's a little bit ridiculous, it goes real cheesy towards the final act, and you're just like, oh, come on. I don't know. I think teens will like this. I think that this movie has some pull, but definitely not.
The way they did the social media and stuff too, I thought was really nice.
I thought some things were pretty cool as far as
the
like how they were showing. Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, there was kind of this one moment when Emma Roberts is on her Mac, and all of a sudden it becomes finger touch, and I thought that was
kind of cool.
I was like, wait, what? And I'm sure, like, I get it that it was more of kind of like
a prototype for the MacBook.
Yeah,
the new MacBook.
Even though like her iMessage was technically like way downgraded, but I mean, I understand that there was probably just like more of a this is what's happening. She's accepting all of this rather than physically actually happening. But to me, I was just like, wait, what? Why is she just touching her computer screen? And the way that people handle their phones kind of on here doesn't really like resonate to me, like how people actually handle their phones or do things. Like, that was really annoying. Oh, yeah. She did that a few times in the movie, and I was just like, come on, man.
Okay, well, another thing while we're at it is, people don't say if you ask for a dress, that's really expensive. No one says that.
That's true, but when you said that to me in the theater, I was like, well, maybe because he saw the timer, he knew that she's playing Nerve and knew that she was just trouble, so he wanted to be like, all right, if you do something bad, that's really expensive, you're gonna get in big trouble. But he didn't say that. Yeah, yeah, but you also, but to say that of all things is the most unbelievable thing in the movie.
Well, in 3 days, however, we get to watch Jason Bourne.
I was like trying to do my own version of the Jason Bourne theme song, but it is so damn hard. We talked about that last week, but
Jeremy Renner tried it, but now we get to see if Matt Damon can make Jason Bourne again.
Ooh, Woo, that was good. I don't know. We'll be here 5 days or 3 days. 2 days. 3 days.
Today's
ago.
Monday. It's
That's
Thursday.
true.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yep. Nerve. Full review. ChasingCinema.com.
And any other movie that came out this year, already done.
Yeah, ChasingCinema.com. Well, mostly every movie, because every movie is a bit of a stretch. I'm just being honest with them. I don't want to lose. I don't want to bother them. And you think we should tell them the news?
No, we'll wait till Thursday.
All right, we'll wait till
Sign to be
Thursday.
serious. ChasingCinema.com is known as
Film Lovers website.